Hello and welcome to the Psychic Aptitude Test. The image you're looking at is known as an Autostereogram image, or an SIS, Single Image Stereogram. Back in the olden days, they used to use two photos and sort of overlay them and use a special pair of glasses to create a three-dimensional image. But now they've done it where you can do it with just a single image, and it just requires the adjusting of your focus and your mindset to get the image to pop out. Now, sometimes the images have depth. In other words, it looks like you're looking into them, and other times they pop out at you and like in three-dimensional. So it takes a little bit of practice, and this is a great test for the third eye, how quickly you can do this and how easily you can hold this three-dimensional image is a good way to judge the power of your psychic perception. So I'll give you some tips on how to do this. So what you want to do is sort of relax your gaze and focus, to where the entire image becomes evenly focused, kind of melds into one, just like we do for telekinesis. And then if you know how to cross your eyes, you know how you look at the tip of your nose to cross your eyes? Well, instead of looking at the tip of your nose, look to a point about 3 to 4 inches in front of the screen and sort of cross your eyes just a little bit and let all the edges and everything kind of blur and blend. And then you might kind of mess around with the distance between you and the screen, like maybe scoot forward a little bit or back a little bit. And imagine looking through the image or pulling things out of the image. And soon the three-dimensional object hidden within there will just pop out to you. And it's just amazing. It's really cool. And when it does, just maintain that gaze and maybe move your head a little bit around. And you'll see how the image kind of follows you, and it's really neat. And note how you cannot see that using your quote-unquote autofocus, your normal bifocal vision, how you have to relax it and sort of change your perception and empty your mind. And just take note that that's a very similar mindset and focus trick that we use during telekinesis. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to do a series of these images, and I'll be quiet so you can relax and focus. But what we're going to do is just show an image, and I want you to note at what point in the video did it become 3D. So don't pause the video and stare at it. Just let it run. I'll give you time, and I'll be quiet so you can focus. And we're going to start this first image at exactly 3 minutes. And then I'd just be curious to see, because you can judge kind of the power of your psychic perception by how quickly you find the image and how easily you can maintain the 3D image in your mind. All right, so here we go. Oh, I'm guessing you saw that image around 33 seconds. Oh, happy April Fool's Day. And my apologies to the newbies. I'm sure my seasoned subscribers had the volume turned down and knew darn good and well what was coming. But these are good images, and they are good exercises. And like I said, I got a link below if you want to really do this. This image you're looking at here, the one I did the jump scare on, is the best one, I think. It's like I think it's a clown. It's like 3D popping out of the screen, sticking his tongue out. The title of it is Happy April Fool's Day, I think. Oh, it's great. Oh, and the first image you saw was like an inverted triangle, like you're looking down into a triangle from the bottom. And then the next one, I think, was, which one did I do? The handstand, I believe. But these are cool. Now, for example, if you want to practice, you can do these next two images. This next one is a starfish, which is a pretty good one. You'll have to pause it because I'm not going to leave it playing or anything. And then the one after it is a certain zodiac sign. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it looks really cool when it pops out to you. So if you want to pause and do those two, that'd be cool, or visit that website to check them out. All right, and if you like this kind of stuff, no more jump scare stuff, but just funny stuff, I'm going to include a clip of last year's upload because not too many people watched it, and I thought you might enjoy it. All right, thanks for being a good sport, and happy April Fool's Day 2018. Okay, I need to know your initial response. Is the cylinder facing right or left? If you said this cylinder is facing left, you are a left-minded, analytical, logical-minded type person. And if you saw the cylinder as facing right, you are a right-brain, intuitive, creative-minded person. Okay, and this is an image of a chair facing towards you, but just by simply shifting your perspective, you should be able to make it appear to be a chair facing away from you. And if you're unable to do that, it means you're a self-centered, stubborn, narrow-minded jerk and people don't like you. Okay, and on this one again, we are just shifting our perspective. If all you see is a big blob of white shapes on stuff, you need to just shift your perspective and focus on the black. And some words should appear, and it says Batman. And if you see something other than the words Batman, it means you have glaucoma and you should apply for a medical marijuana card. Okay, so this is a really popular grid image that we use, and the deal with this is as you move your focus around, you should begin to see black dots appearing in the intersections. And if you don't see black dots, it means you're visually retarded because your mother's father was bald. Okay, now normally when we think of focusing, we think of holding still and fixating on an image, but on this exercise we need to shake our head, and you should begin to see an image of a person appear behind the grid. And if this person is of the same gender as you, that means you're gay. And if it's of the opposite gender, it means you're not gay. And on this image we focus entirely on the black dot in the center, and the gray area should diminish and eventually disappear completely. Now if it doesn't disappear completely, it means you are constipated and you need to be drinking at least 3 cups of spinach juice a day, and you need to get your anus parallel with your heels when you go poo. So you should poo outside and squat like a monkey. Okay, now this is the 3 streams image actually created by a cardiologist. And if you see movement in all 3 streams, you're in pretty good shape. Now if you only see intermittent movement, or only 1 or 2 streams are moving, you probably suffer from low blood pressure. And if you see no movement, you're a cheeseburger, french fry eating maniac who's probably going to die of a cardiac arrest before the end of this video. Okay, and this is the last one of these that have to deal with physical attributes. And I don't really recall this one. I think this one, if you see the water moving, you're healthy. And if you don't see the water moving, and don't quote me on this one, I think it means your cat has urinary tract infection. Okay, now these next set of images are used to determine a person's true spiritual and psychological tendencies and attributes using a method called the Inkblot data analysis method, also known as ABIDAM. And you will be amazed at the things these tools can reveal about a person. So let's get started. Okay, this one's called the 4 slithering snakes. And if you see 4 slithering snakes, then you are a beautiful, angelic, divine product of intelligent design, sent here with love and compassion in your heart and a desire to do good things for humanity. And if you don't see 4 slithering snakes, you're just a soulless cosmic accident that evolved from pond scum, and your little monkey brain will never be capable of performing any psychic abilities whatsoever. Okay, now this one's called the spiral of life. And if this image appears to be rotating counterclockwise, that means your soul is trapped in an eternal cycle of birth, death, and reincarnation being perpetrated by interdimensional beings that live on the dark side of the moon. And if the image appears to be still, everything is cool and there's no such thing as reincarnation. Okay, this is the famous watermelon patch image created by Dr. Harry Wong. And by moving your focus from one melon to the next, you should be able to make them rotate. And if you do see some rotation, that means your ancestors were frugivores and you should stop eating meat and dairy. And if you don't see any movement at all, it means you suffer from negrophobia, which is the fear of black people. Okay, this one's called reality check. Now if you see rotation to the left, that means in your reality the earth is flat and motionless and the sun is circling overhead. And if you see rotation to the right, that means in your reality the earth is a spinning ball hurtling through infinite space chasing the sun. Okay, now this one's called migration of the soul. This is a very accurate tool to find out what level of consciousness you're on. So if you stare at this image for a while, And if the birds start rotating to the left, that means the Mandela effect is real and shape-shifting reptilian entities are using HARP and CERN to force your consciousness into some weird reality where the Monopoly Man no longer has a monocle and C-3PO's leg is silver and people can no longer have sex in the city. And if you saw no motion whatsoever, that means the Mandela effect is a load of goose poop and humans are just consume so much fluoride and junk food and television they probably can't even remember their own phone number. This one is called the Circle of Truth, and what you do is you focus intensely on the yellow dot in the center, and the blue dots along the outer ring should start to disappear. And the more dots that disappear, the more psychic you are. And if no dots disappear, you are a transgendered Illuminati clone that was created with Nephilim DNA, and your powers can only be activated if you drink baby blood. Okay, I think I'm going to put a stop to this now. But I did promise you some helpful tools, and actually looking at these type of images and using your powers of perception is a good exercise for learning psychic abilities, but I saved the best for last. Okay, now this looks like a rather ordinary image, and I'm sure you gather by now that you're supposed to make the Ferris wheel turn. And there's more to this than meets the eye, because if you go full screen and dim the lights and get up close to your monitor and stare intently at that blue dot in the middle, if you can keep the Ferris wheel turning for say about 3 seconds or more, you will begin to see an image in the very center. And I'm not going to tell you what that image is because I'm going to give you a prize if you can see it. So be the first one to comment and tell me what the image is in the very center of this photo, and I will give you something very special. And I'm going to shut up because it does take a little bit of time to do this one. But just focus intently on the very center and keep those cards turning. Alright, I'm going to shut up and let you give it a try. Now that's funny. Or maybe not. I'm sorry. That may hurt your ears or something. But you guys should have known. I mean, every April Fool's Day video has a jump scare in it. Or at least you guys that are used to my channel. I apologize if you're a newbie. But how could I know that you guys were so afraid of bunnies? I mean, they're just... I had no way of knowing. Of course, I would pay a pretty penny to see some screen capture to your faces when the evil Easter Bunny came to visit you. And speaking of pretty pennies, I have a little bit of an announcement. I know this has been a non-monetized channel since day one, but things are going to have to change. And I'm going to choose my sponsor very, very carefully. And I'm just sticking with a few good products I know I can trust, like the Pet Petter. That's a good one. And I don't know how anybody can poop without the potty putter. If you see any products here that you've tried, you trust, you know that are good, let me know, and I'll try to get only good sponsors on this channel. And all right, I don't know how much longer I can continue these shenanigans, so I'm just going to have to wrap it up here and wish you all a happy April Fool's Day 2017. Thanks for watching.